Yo, this is Ty from NoVex. Make sure you go check out NoVex. It's available now. You can check it out on YouTube channel, Galaxy of Film. Appreciate the support. Holla.
Welcome to Awards Bait, the official Galaxy of Film award show podcast, where we ask ourselves, what's getting nominated this year? Joining me every other Tuesday is a roster of guest stars to help me answer that very question. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome back to Awards Bait, everybody. It is Jake once again, and I am joined with a new face. This is the first time on Galaxy of Film for my pal, Mr. Ron Visciglia. I mean, obviously it's not Galaxy of Film, it's Galaxy of Film adjacent, but it's still all under the same umbrella. So welcome to Galaxy of Film. You're the second Mayhem member to come aboard, obviously
it's
after
nice
Will.
To be here.
Yeah, good to have you. Thank you for joining me. A lot of you guys may know Ronnie if you've been following like Mayhem over the last like couple of years. Ronnie's a big force over there. Obviously it's been forever since we've done anything like that, but Ronnie, how's everything with you in Ronnie's world?
Everything's going good in my world. I just moved out, got my own place. Everything's good here.
Very nice.
I'm
Very
excited
nice.
to talk about some movies today.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we got Best Supporting Actor. So if you're unfamiliar, if the show's been going, every week we've been looking at like an above the line category. Obviously, once we get into the thick of it with award season, the show will change up a little bit and we'll start to focus on different things like, you know, updated predictions and various nominee announcements and things like that. But for now, the structure has kind of been every week we look at a category. So we've looked at Best Picture, we've looked at Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and then now here we are on episode, what is this, 4? Best Supporting Actor. I guess it would be episode 5. Episode 5, wow, we've been trucking along here. And yeah, so this week we've got Best Supporting Actor. A little bit of news off the top here. Last week I was joined with Michaela for Best Actress, and you know, after that show wrapped up, the SAG strike ended. So the SAG strike is now over, so actors can promote their films again, and in turn, actors can campaign for these Oscars. So things are going to look a little different now. You never know. Michaela and I were kind of, the one silver lining of the strike was that maybe it won't be a popularity contest this time around where it's like money talks, you know, where it's like maybe truly the best performance can win and the best movie can win. But now that the strike is over, maybe we're going to get back into that kind of campaign as much as you can, and then the loudest voice gets the win. I don't know your thoughts on that, but that's kind of what Michaela and I were talking about last week. But now that it's over, I guess there's a lot of good things that came out of it, but that's maybe one of the things that is not so good. But
Yeah, it'll probably end up back in the boys club where it's like, you know, but most popular movie makes it, whoever kind of gets the most voice out there is
yeah.
gonna win the most stuff. Although I think Oppenheimer is gonna pull like a Lord of the Rings and win like a bunch of stuff.
Oh boy, we'll see. I don't know. I really don't know. I hope so, because it is still my favorite film of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, since last week, I haven't seen a ton of new Oscar movies. A lot of them next Thanksgiving. That's when all of them are coming out at once. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a preview with that. We've got. I mean, at the time of recording, these films are not out yet. But once this show airs next Tuesday, the 21st. We will have, is that right? Yeah, next Tuesday, the 21st, we will have Napoleon coming out in theaters, Saltburn coming out in theaters, Rustin will be on Netflix. So many things are dropping. You know, obviously a lot of these other films are going to be expanding even more. The Holdovers is going to be expanding more. I know it's in theaters near us right now. I got a chance to see it yesterday.
It's
You're going
limited
tomorrow.
release?
Technically, yeah, it's under 1,000 theaters.
Okay.
So it's still a
Okay.
limited release, but it should be going wider in the coming weeks. But yeah, we've got a lot of stuff coming out in the next 2 weeks here. So Thanksgiving is looking busy. So if you have a theater near you, El Maestro is going to be coming out in limited release.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of stuff's going to be coming out. So after Thanksgiving, we're going to be full with both food and Academy Award nominated films.
Uh, good one, Jake.
You
Good
know?
one.
Yeah, look at me.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm looking forward to Saltburn.
yeah.
I know one of my coworkers, he showed me like reviews for Napoleon.
Not
Not
great.
looking good.
That was one of the ones where I felt kind of iffy about, where I was like, it could go either way. Ridley Scott's been a bit of a tough one in the last couple of
Yeah.
years. You know,
I
you had the
really
last
wanted
duel,
I really
but
wanted this to do good because I'm
yeah,
like, all right, you got Joaquin Phoenix, you got like a 3 hour epic,
yeah,
historical epic about Napoleon. Like this could be incredible.
yeah,
And then I'm looking at the reviews and it's like the bell curve is like 3.5 is like the
yeah,
max. I'm like, oh
yeah. It could still be a crowd pleasing epic, but it maybe it
yeah,
just doesn't go for the gold all the way, which is
yeah,
unfortunate. But I think we were, at the end of the day, are we really that surprised?
yeah, not
I know
really.
we had hope, we had our fingers
Yeah, I
crossed.
had hope more
Yeah,
than anything.
yeah, but I don't know. Without further ado, we can get right into it here. But Ronnie, any films? I mean, we both have a little bit of a list here of what is looking good. Obviously, the weeks. If you've been listening to the show, I have my three, sure bets, iffy for now, and no chance categories. But before we get into that, are there any that are not on this list that you have in mind potentially? I know it's been a long year,
Oh, let
but I
me
don't.
look really quick.
I know I one that's not on the list there, but one that I kind of think is going under the radar is can't even remember the guy's name. That's how unprepared I am. But the main character's husband in past lives. Not
Yeah,
her
yeah,
soulmate, but
yeah, the
her
guy.
husband.
That's fair. Yeah, he
I
won't win. I don't think
no,
he'll win. Yeah, absolutely nothing. But yeah,
no.
I could see that because he plays a fully like I'm the bad guy without being a bad guy in any way at all.
It was such
And
like a
he's
nuanced thing, and I thought it was so
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. That's one that yeah, I could agree with that one.
Yeah.
That could merit some. It should merit something, but it's not.
He was one of those guys where I was like, he's doing a lot with the little he has, and I
Yeah,
felt that way when I saw it, and it stuck with me for a while where he's just kind of like, who am I to stand in between true love? And it's just like you feel
yeah,
for him. You're like, you kind of should be like, damn, like you're the obstacle, like you're the asshole kind of here. But you feel for him because you're like, this guy didn't ask for this. Like it's not his fault, and
exactly.
he's a nice guy. So it's like
Yeah,
he's doing the best he can with the with the cards he was dealt. But yeah, no way is he gonna get in there. And it's
no.
unfortunate, but he's one that I had in mind. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you had any others. Otherwise, we can jump right into it.
We could probably jump right in. I'm looking at my
Yeah,
stuff that I've seen. Nothing pops out. Maybe, I mean, did Air come out this year?
Air did come out this year.
Maybe like one of them. But
Yeah,
for me,
Affleck.
Air was like, kind of a crowd pleaser. It was
Yeah,
fine for me. But yeah, maybe Affleck, he played like a snarky sort of
yeah,
like I'm a business guy, but we're kind of homegrown Nike Corp before they became big.
yeah.
Um, again, that's not going to get anything at all.
I don't. I honestly, I gotta say, I think not to spoil next week, but I think Air is gonna wind up if enough of these movies don't hit, like like you just mentioned, Napoleon is kind of polarizing.
Yeah.
Saltburn is mixed from what I've seen.
Really?
Saltburn's
Oh,
mixed.
okay.
Yeah, Saltburn's been mostly negative actually, but I'm still very excited to see that.
Yeah.
Um, but Saltburn's been one of those ones where it's like, oh, this isn't gonna be anything, but like it's a fun, good movie.
Yeah.
It's one of those where, and then even like what else is on here that really might not go all the way. Like I still think maybe there's a chance that like Barbie misses Best Picture. I know a lot of people think Barbie's getting in there, but I think there's a
Yeah,
chance.
I could very easily see it mixing.
So
Cause yeah.
you never know. And Air has been one that like people keep kind of talking about. Where it's like, don't Air came out in April, but you never know.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
so who knows? And that was one of those ones where it came out early. Like it came out very early, but
Mm.
I still think Viola Davis is going to get in there for supporting actress. I think she'll get in there
Sorry, what movie again?
for Air. For she played
Oh yeah,
Florence
yeah, yeah,
mom.
yeah, that's
I
right.
think
Yep.
I think she'll be in there. I really do.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah,
been
cause
sticking with me for the whole year.
yeah, again, it was like not a very huge role, but
No,
she played it exactly, to life of
yeah,
what really happened,
and she had
and you can
enough
kind
of
of
those
feel it.
moments. She had
Yeah,
enough of those like
exactly.
they could play this clip.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get right into it. Best supporting actor. We've got a list of 10 here. So much like before, got the sure bets, iffy for now, and no chance. And Ronnie, starting off with sure bets here, we've got Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer, Robert De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon, and Ryan Gosling in Barbie. 2 Roberts and another R name. I mean, these are like no-brainers. Like, this has been one of those things where it's like, it looks like Downey Jr. is probably going to walk away with it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
I
you never know.
I think he should. I mean, given the context of what kind of movie it is and what the Academy usually goes for, I think he'll win. I think just Ryan Gosling, I think the whole portrayal of Barbie in general kind of makes it like, oh, it's not as prestigious of a film as Killers of the Flower Moon or even Oppenheimer. I mean, even Killers, that could like sneak up and win because it's one of those movies again where the Academy's like, this is a historical movie. It's kind of not old timey, but you got all these old timey actors in it.
Certainly.
You got the prestige of Martin Scorsese. But I do think, and I believe De Niro will win it.
Oh, do you?
Sorry, not De Niro, Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. I think he'll win it. He was so good in Oppenheimer. He plays the perfect, like, trying to seize power, just asshole, behind the scenes pulling all the strings. And then just as soon as he gets caught, just like, all right, it's over.
Yeah.
Just like a perfect, so good.
Exactly. And it's one of those things also where it's like, we talk about this every week, but Academy loves their stories, their comeback. Like, and this dude was literally in the trenches before Iron Man, and it's like,
and then even after Marvel, you heard him. There's a famous quote going around. He's like, I don't know if I could even act after all those movies.
Yeah, and it's like
he comes out and like the best performance. Since
never given
before. Yeah, exactly.
It's fantastic, and it's like, and it just goes to show you, like, I mean, there were people back when Endgame came out, where it was like, hey, if Marvel pushes for Best Supporting Actor because it's an ensemble cast, like nobody's really the lead, Downey Jr. could sneak in there for Endgame. Like, he was so good in that. So people want him to be recognized for these things because the comeback story is strong. So I agree with you. I think Downey Jr. is going to take it. And it really would help that not that we don't want this, but like there's been that report going around where it's like, oh, Marvel wants Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and all of them back. Where it's like, if he wins an Oscar, that kind of solidifies him as like, no, keep doing this. Not that Marvel's bad or you're above that, but like move forward. Like, do something new, do something different. And you did the Marvel thing. You had the best arc in the entire universe. Like,
there's no reason to go back to it.
No,
And again, the only reason Marvel's even trying this is because everything they've put out since has pretty much flopped.
Right.
It's just every next release has been bad. Besides obviously Guardians or
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
besides that, it's just been like just plummeting down in quality and fan interest.
It's true.
So no, he should definitely stay away. But obviously, the money might pull him back in just for another role.
It's true. Yeah, you never know. I mean, and I'm down for it with like to a certain extent, but like I would love to see him like win and then just like move on.
Yeah.
And, like,
I think it might even go the other way. I think if he does win, he's like, all right, I finally got my Oscar. I did my big performance. Now now I'm being given this again. Let me just go back and do this. Like, I already kind of did
best of both worlds kind of thing.
Yeah, sort of.
Maybe. You never know, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think De Niro and Gosling just being there is kind of a win. Where it's like, De Niro's like this legacy actor where, like, I mean, he's got the acclaim, but he was really good in Killers of the Flower Moon. I very much enjoyed him, and I think he was like, obviously next to Molly, I think he was like the standout for me. Like, he was even better than DiCaprio in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I think DiCaprio kind of played. I mean, because obviously to the real life. Burkhart, I forgot his first Earl Burkhart.
Ernest,
Or Ernest. He was just like, kind of a kind of dumb, aloof, like didn't really fully have a plan of what to do next. And obviously you have Robert De Niro guiding him. Yeah. And just being evil, which an old white guy plays it best,
It's true. But I think, and DiCaprio, it's like nothing we haven't seen before from him.
Yeah.
Like De Niro, it's like he's kind of frightening at times in that, where it's like, damn, this dude is ruthless. And it's like, I think it was fun seeing him kind of play like a full-fledged kind of villain. Like, I thought that was cool. But yeah, and then also playing against type, Ryan Gosling I thought he was, going into we saw it in Nice Guys. We saw it in Barbie. He really, when he leans into the comedic stuff, he's a force to be reckoned with, and he's so funny.
And more people don't. I mean, more directors or people in Hollywood don't, for some reason, recognize that.
I know. Well, it looks like they're starting to, because he looks great in the Fall Guy, that movie coming out with him, where he's like the stunt man. That looks hilarious. And it looks like that could be another thing and it could lead to this big Gosling renaissance where everybody's casting him. And I think the nomination is a win. I don't know if he's ever been nominated before. I can't remember, but
that's a shame.
He's such a good actor. I agree. Yeah. I totally agree. He might have for the Neil Armstrong one though. Let me fact check that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think that did kind of get. Oh no, he was nominated for La La Land. I'm crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's fine, but the nomination for that would be great because it's Barbie.
It's a role not accustomed to him. Obviously, we all see the memes of him being basically mute, can't talk to women. The drive scene.
Right.
So yeah, he gets a lot of those roles. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to see he's getting nominated. Obviously, he got nominated for La La Land, but it's nice to see him get nominated for Barbie, which is like a huge blockbuster hit. And he's playing into like this role that's specifically comedic.
Exactly.
And it's nice that he gets recognition for that.
I agree. Yeah, no, he's great. Iffy for now, I have 4 contenders here. Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. I haven't seen Poor Things. You haven't either. It's not out yet. So that's the only reason I have him is Iffy, but like a lot of the other places are placing him very high up. Yeah. So I'm sure he's fantastic in it. Mm-hmm. I have no problem putting him in sure bets. The only reason he's here is because I haven't seen the movie. So that's why. But Mark Ruffalo, I'm sure he's great in it. I also have Willem Dafoe in Poor Things because there's been a couple years in a row now where like 2 actors from the same movie will be in supporting categories. So like last year you had Stephanie Hsu and Jamie Lee Curtis from Everything Everywhere All at Once. You had Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keoghan from Banshees of Inisherin. So I think there's like kind of a pattern emerging there where like they want to award like the 2 kind of fun, wacky side characters in the movies. So I think Willem Dafoe looks like the crazy Frankenstein thing that he's doing in that. Like that might be something worth nominating. As well as Mark Ruffalo. So I think those 2 can maybe pull a, Inisherin and Everything Everywhere All at Once and just come in there. I don't know though. We'll see. But I kind of feel good about that 5. I really do. That would be my 5.
Yeah, very strong 5. Like that's a really good year. I think obviously Willem Dafoe, every movie he's in now is fantastic. Like he is incredible in it.
Yeah, so agreed.
And pretty much any movie he's in, he should at least be nominated for something.
I think so too, but you never know. I do also have Coleman Domingo for The Color Purple. Coleman Domingo is like out of nowhere, kind of sneaking into all of these different films. Like he's in Rustin, which he's kind of in contention for lead actor there. I really kind of think it's ultimately he might just be like eating himself, where it's like I don't think he's gonna pull a Scarlett Johansson and be nominated in 2 separate categories in the same year. So I don't think they're going to want to do that. I think they're going to want to spread the love this year, especially with everything, with like the strikes and everything. They're going to want to have as many celebrities there as possible. So I really feel like maybe he'll push it an actor and not supporting actor for The Color Purple. Also, Color Purple, I don't think anybody's seen that yet. I think they're starting to screen it like tomorrow. So we'll have more of an idea then. But I don't know. And then finally, for now, I have Charles Melton from May December. This is one that I also have no idea about because haven't seen it, haven't heard much about it, but from what I hear, the performances of Natalie Portman, Julianne Moore, and Charles Melton are all great, and they can all be nominated in separate categories. But I don't know, I haven't seen it. I really haven't heard that much buzz about it. I don't know. I think it's coming out on Netflix December 1st or something like that. But I don't really think it's gonna get in there. Just because that movie I don't think is going to go all the way. In Todd Haynes' previous film, Carol, that was nominated a bunch, and I think for some acting categories too, but I'm not getting the same like strong reaction. Yeah. I've been here, like, I don't know. I just don't, there's not enough like overwhelming support behind
Yeah.
Charles Melton this year.
And obviously, it's not nothing. Both, I mean, that and the Color Purple aren't out
Yeah,
yet, so we can't really
right.
make any opinions on what their performance was. It's like,
Yeah, it's true. So maybe Charles Melton does kind of blow me away, and I'm like, yep, nope, push Defoe out, get him in there. Like I think
yeah,
Defoe is the one that's kind of in a dangerous spot where it's like he
yeah,
can very easily be interchanged. I think because I
hmm
haven't seen Poor Things, haven't seen The Color Purple, haven't seen May December, and I also don't know if Willem Dafoe is going to be in a lot of that movie. You know, I think that can ultimately be the thing that kills him, where
yeah.
it's like
It could be like
maybe
the Northman. I don't know if you're gonna say that, but the Northman, where he's in it for like
yeah, it could
basically. I mean, he's used sparingly throughout, but he's really only in it for like the first 15 minutes.
right, and it's like I could see I don't know I know Poor Things has like been screened and a lot of people have seen it and people
Mhm.
think he's good in it, but
Yeah,
not enough people are like another double movie year like where the two
yeah,
guys from the same movie get nominated. I haven't been hearing enough of that. I
yeah,
just feel strongly about it because I think Poor Things is going to be one of those like 12 nomination kind of movies. Like I think that and
yeah.
Oppenheimer are going to be the ones that just rack it up because it's like I think the Flower Moon thing there's been a little bit more of like a push and pull because not a lot of people adored it. But I think mostly everybody's loving Poor Things and mostly everybody loved Oppenheimer. So I think those two are your two like that's the two front runners.
hmm
Whereas Flower Moon is kind of like the kind of dark horse where it's like you never know. But then the rest, I also think, and I'd be curious to talk to you about it tomorrow. I think the Holdovers could sneak in there as well because I think that is like your Green Book thing where it's like
Yeah.
it's the feel good movie. It's so like heartfelt and nice by the end. And let's talk about him now. No chance category, unfortunately. Perfect segue from the Holdovers. Dominic Sessa for the Holdovers. He plays the kid that gets left behind
Yeah.
in the school. He is first of all, I think he's more of a lead. I think it's him and Giamatti together.
Yeah.
Um, but obviously you can't have the two. Like I think Giamatti's kind of locked in for actor, so I don't think you're gonna want to push those two in the same category because it's
hmm
just not smart. It's
Yeah.
smart to push him here. But I've seen the Holdovers, and Dominic is great in it. All three of them are great in it. Him, Paul Giamatti, and then the lunch lady that stays behind as well, Divine Joy Randolph. She's really good. I think she's getting in
Oh, for best actress.
for best supporting actress.
Oh,
Yeah,
best supporting. Sorry. Yeah.
for sure. I think she. We'll talk about her next episode, but definitely her as well. But Dominic Sessa, this is his first film ever. So
Jeez.
he's got like that. It's that same kind of like Lucas Hedges thing where I don't
That's
remember.
exactly what I was gonna say. That name.
Yeah, I don't remember what Lucas Hedges' first film was that we saw, but like
hmm
as soon as you saw him, you're like, oh, yep,
Yep.
he's gonna be everywhere, and like
Yeah.
he was for a little while, but I don't know, I haven't seen Lucas Hedges in quite some time,
Yeah.
but it's got that energy where it's like like not this year. I think it's too stacked for you, but like keep doing this and you're getting in there at some point and you're winning at some point. Like he's so
hmm
good. And it's surprising because like I looked it up after. I'm like, there's no way this is his first movie. And it was. And it's like, goddamn, like he packed a lot of emotion into it. And I thought he was fantastic. So any other year, I think he'd be in there, but I don't know. I
Yeah.
just think you never know. You never know. That's another one where it's like, if enough people love the Holdovers over the
Yeah.
holidays, maybe Dominic Sessa gets in there, and it's just the Academy loves it so much that they're just like, get him in there.
Yeah.
Just show as much love as you can for the Holdovers. Maybe, but I don't know. I don't feel super strong about it. But yeah, what are your expectations? I know you're seeing it tomorrow. What are your expectations?
So I know when I was first seeing the trailer for it before movies, I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, all right. I'm like,
Really?
I was kind of just like, whatever about the movie. And
Mm-hmm.
then as I kind of saw it more and more, and obviously I saw some of the reviews come out, and I saw your review,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, now you piqued my interest. Like this looks like this could be really good. And what you've said about it is what I thought it would be if it was to be good, it would kind of lean into being like heartfelt and like sort of a bonding experience. Because obviously, from what the trailer shows, the kid gets kind of left behind to the
Yeah.
school during like a winter break.
Mm-hmm.
So what you said makes sense and what I thought it would kind of lean into, which is
Yeah.
good. It's not like it's a bad thing to be not predictable, but kind of to know what I'm kind of in for. But At first I was about it, but now I'm like, oh, I'm excited to see it tomorrow.
Good.
It'll be a
Yeah,
good time.
I'm expecting like 4.5 from you.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
hoping.
expecting. Yeah, I think so because it's like my big thing with it was like there's a certain point where you're like, oh, it's about to wrap up, and then it's like 30 more minutes, and I'm like, this is a little long. Like it doesn't need to be this long. It's
Yeah.
like 2 hours and like 13 minutes, but I didn't like want to leave. Like I really did enjoy like being there. And I liked it a lot and I want to see it again, but I think that's where like some people are going to be like, all right, it's a little long. This is like a sub 2 hour movie, I think, but it should have been anyway. But I loved it. We'll save the big one for last. Another one, Teo Yo from Past Lives. This is another one where I feel like he's a lead actor. Yeah. I kind of feel like it's a click between him and the lead actress. He's great in it, but again, it's one of those things where I think it just came out way too early, and I don't think Past Lives is ultimately going to be this big front runner that everybody really wanted it to be in the beginning of the year. It still is like up there as one of my favorites though, but
oh yeah, I mean, even the first time I saw it, I know you loved it. I saw it and I really liked it, and then I was like a few weeks ago I was like, man, I kind of want to watch Past Lives again. So it's like those are like the movies you want in your life that you're like, I see them, and in a few months you're like thinking about it, you're like, man, I gotta see that movie again. Because sometimes you see a great movie the first time, never think about it again.
Yeah,
it's the ones that kind of stick with you that you're like, okay, this one might have wheels to carry on for like maybe the rest of my life. But
yeah, totally.
I agree. I think the issue for me, not the issue for me, but the issue I see is that it's kind of his performance in the movie overall is kind of quiet and subtle.
Yeah.
With its approach, it's not very bombastic and being like trying to show this sort of intimate, delicate dynamic between these two people who used to love each other and now they literally can't love each other because of their circumstances. But it was a very good time, and yeah, I agree. He should be, but he's not going to get nominated for anything. I don't think.
Yeah.
His performance was too subtle, and just kind of like he played what he was supposed to do, and it was kind of like it fit exactly how it should. But for the context of the story, it's not going to gain any traction, I don't think.
For sure. Actually, one more I forgot to mention in here, and I think he's a no chance because I don't think he does enough with the role. And we also just saw this same person get nominated last year and almost win. Jacob Elordi for Elvis for Priscilla. I honestly like he was good in the movie. Okay. He was good, but it was just one of those things where it's like, this coming out a year after Elvis, and it's Elvis, everybody loved Elvis. Austin Butler almost won. He didn't beat Brendan Fraser, which good. But it's like Austin Butler, like that was like his role. Like he took that and like made it his life. And like Jacob Elordi, like and not saying that I don't like Jacob Elordi or anything, but like it's just kind of like it's Priscilla's movie through and through, and but even then it's like he's got the more because he's Elvis, but it's like I think that's the point of the movie where it's like she's always kind of been like the sideline, and it's like and it's sad and all this stuff, but like I don't think he does like enough with it, and I don't think he's given enough with it, and I also think he's in the movie like way too much. I did not think he was in it that much. I thought he was going to be more of like an in and out kind of character, and it was going to be a Priscilla character study, but it was more of like he was a co-lead, and I was another thing where it's like he's in it too much, I think. So I think he ultimately just cannibalizes himself, and also I don't think there's room for him, and I don't think there's ever been like I don't think it's too like that movie's too like the movie's at a 5 for the whole thing with like a couple of times where it jumps up to 7. It never goes to the 10 where it's like this is amazing. Like it never goes there. Yeah. Like it just kind of sits at a 5, and there's a couple of like Elvis outbursts, and then it's like, okay, this is a 7 right now, and then it dips again. Yeah. And it's like this is very quiet. It's like it's very like it reminded me of Spencer, that movie with Kristen Stewart. I said this last week too, but like it was just one of those like very kind of dreamy, quiet, like chill A24 vibes where it's like this is fine, but like, it never goes there. And it could,
Yeah.
it should go there, but it didn't for me. But our last one here, and this is something that we both agree on here. I really think he should be, but he will not be, and that is Glenn Howerton for Blackberry.
Yeah.
Blackberry is such an underrated gem, and it came out again too early.
Yeah.
And with no, I don't even know what studio made that film, but they don't have a budget to campaign this at all.
Yeah, no.
So
I remember I
no way.
walked into that just being like, let's go watch this. It
Yeah.
looks interesting, it looks good. And I came out and I was like, wow, that was like, I mean, at the time, that was one of the first movies I saw of the year.
Yeah,
I was like, this is gonna be like one of my favorite movies of the year. I remember telling you, being like, hey, Blackberry, this new movie, it's out, it's playing near us, you should go watch it.
Yeah.
And it's just, Glenn has such a obviously Glenn Howerton, he's from Always Sunny.
Always Sunny,
I
yeah.
haven't seen Always Sunny, but now I have this built-in perception of him that's almost irreversible, where I'm like scared of him because
Wow.
he just plays. Oh, because for me, I haven't watched Always Sunny.
Right.
I've seen like little clips of it. I never was like, oh, that's him. Like he's an actual actor. But this guy is ruthless in Blackberry.
So good.
He is just like down your throat. Like, we need to control this business and have our shit together and make sure everything's running well. And if you don't, fuck you. You need to have your shit or you're fucking getting out of the company.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, oh my God, he's like on this role, all over this role. He's on it.
Yeah.
And he has, and of course, and even comedically, he has that one line.
Oh yeah.
Where he's at the NHL headquarters, and he's just like, "I'm from Waterloo, where the vampires hang out," and it's just like the most ridiculous, the self-absorbent, like, how can you not tell you're just acting ridiculous in front of all these people? And he plays it so straight, and it's just he's so good in that movie, but he's gonna get absolutely no recognition at all from the Academy or anything.
I know, and it's such a bummer too, because like you can tell that like casting him was like kind of a risk, and it's like, he's like the Always Sunny funny guy, and he's all this shit, but it's like you give him the chance to kind of let loose, you're gonna get not only his kind of dry, sarcastic asshole attitude, but you're also gonna get like a really kind of great performance, like an unexpected and they always say comedic actors make really great dramatic actors. We've seen this time and time again. Adam Sandler's done it a few times,
Of course.
and seeing Glenn kind of jump into that as well was super fun. And I hope in some world they give him another opportunity to do something like this on a bigger scale, because I can really see, I think Blackberry will like wind up becoming like this cult classic where it's like people watch it in years and they're like, how did this get nothing? Like it's got that like Uncut Gems kind of underground shit where it's like this is down on the ground, dirty, kind of very like shaky cam shit. Like it's got that kind of gritty thing where it's like, this is what made Uncut Gems so great, this is what made Good Times so great. It's got that Safdie feel, and I think like, give this director another chance, give this cast another chance to do something else like this. And I think maybe they can go all the way.
Yeah, a lot of the feel of the movie has to be credited to the director. Obviously, he plays a character in the movie too, Matt Johnson.
That's right.
After this movie, I've kind of looked into him, and he's a very like down to earth, sort of like just like a normal sort of guy. And he has other productions that basically have the same sort of vibe, where it's kind of not homemade, but like he has a show, or he used to have a show on Vice called Nirvana the Band, the show.
Yeah.
And it is like this perfect blend of improv, like scripted story, and like real life stuff going on, where they'll be like, okay, we're gonna go to this place in like a real town, real people walking around, and we're gonna have the story progress to this sort of space. And they'll have people, and they'll add in random people that just kind of jump into their wacky sort of shenanigan that's going on, and that plays like perfectly into this, where you kind of feel like you're watching like these real events that are happening, and it's not like necessarily actors, that it's just like this is really what's going on at Blackberry at the headquarters.
You're right, that's a good point, because it really did feel like and I didn't know a lot about this, and I thought it was super cool to like learn about that, and it felt real, like you're saying, because like the most well-known actor in the movie, in my opinion, Jay Baruchel, they kind of put him in makeup and he looks different. And like,
Yeah.
you got the white hair and shit at the end. And it's like, and then Glenn Howerton's fucking bald. Like,
I was
and
gonna say,
it's
he's
like,
bald.
and it's like they transform these people that you're kind of familiar with, and they make them so like they against type, and it was brilliantly done. And yeah, it's one of those movies where like it's been sticking around toward like that top half of my best of list. I don't know if it's still in the top 10. I hope it is. If it's not, I'll rewatch it and love it again. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much best supporting actor in a nutshell. Rest in peace to Glenn Howerton, but like he deserves another shot because like he put in the work, and that's all that matters, because we know he was good. And that's another thing, because I remember I talked to Max about this, the host of Galaxy of Film. We talked about potentially doing like a what would we nominate kind of thing with each category. And I think Glenn Howerton's definitely going to be one of those. He might even win our best supporting pool. Who knows? So that's something that we might do. And if we do that, spoilers, like I'm making sure Glenn Howerton gets it. It's one of the best performances, like just period.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's our kind of post-mortem already of Glenn Howerton, because like there's no chance, but maybe we'll be surprised. Who knows? That would be what a Christmas gift.
Obviously, that'd be a great just sort of shock out of nowhere.
A miracle. Like, holy shit. Glenn Howerton
he would not win, unfortunately.
Oh no.
But even if he got nominated, that alone is
that's the win.
Recognition.
That's it. We're popping bottles if Glenn Howerton wins. We're having a big party. It's over. That pretty much does it for this episode, guys, of Awards Baits. Thanks so much for sticking around. This has been Best Supporting Actor. Ron, before we head out, do you have anything you want to plug? I know you're not really a part of it anymore. Do you have anything you want to promote? I don't know.
go watch the other podcasts on Galaxy of Film.
There you go.
Anything else that's going on over there?
Anything else going on? Yeah. Go check out Ron's brilliant performances on Mayhem Pictures. You can do that too.
Absolutely.
You can go to that. You can check him out. He was top tier Prime back then.
Oh yeah.
And it's
I was a workhorse.
Fantastic stuff. Everything. We got the Thompson brothers reunited.
Oh yeah.
On this podcast. On this, just go take a look at that catalog and enjoy yourself. Have an evening and just relish in Ron's performances on there. But yeah, guys, check out the new short film No Vex. It's out now. It's a good time. I enjoyed it. It'll be linked in the podcast description, and I'm sure there'll be an ad at the beginning of this episode. If there's not, then go check it out. It's on YouTube now. It's on the Galaxy of Film YouTube channel. Go subscribe to us on all the Apple Podcasts, things like that, all the podcast feeds. Rate the podcast, engage with it, share it. Follow us on Instagram, join the Facebook group, all of these things and more. And we're recording this early, Ronnie, but it's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a wonderful holiday, and we'll be back. We'll be back in about 2 weeks, guys. We'll be back with, I think what'll it be? It'll be December the next time we talk. So we'll have a lot more of a brighter picture of the Academy Awards coming up. We will have seen a lot of these movies that have yet to be released. We've got Saltburn, we've got Napoleon, we've got Maestro. Like I said, all these things are coming out. So stay tuned for all of that. We'll have much more informed predictions moving forward because we'll have seen these movies. So thank you so much for listening. Appreciate you taking the time, and we will see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Bye.